The most recent incident involves the arrest of well-known megachurch pastor Rodney Howard-Browne for holding a service at his Tampa church. Liberty Counsel's top lawyer is representing Browne and says the pastor's church went way out of its way to make the service safe.
At this church, required a 6-foot distance, required sanitizing, required the wearing of gloves, and also purchased over $100,000 of special high-grade air purification systems.
In New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio has threatened to permanently shut down churches or synagogues that continue to hold services. And President Trump is warning congregations against congregating.
Well, my biggest disappointment is that churches can't meet in a time of need. And yet, if you do that, if you do it close, you're really giving this invisible enemy a very big advantage.
Religious rights reporter Todd Starnes told CBN Newswatch about a frightening police presence outside an Illinois church.
The local sheriff's department showed up and they were actually counting cars in the parking lot and they were photographing license plates of people. We had a report from Louisiana where they were told that if they did not shut down their services, the National Guard would come in.
Stavers says authorities need to guard religious liberty as well as people's health.
This is a major constitutional issue that we have to balance with a scalpel, not a chainsaw, when it comes to protecting public health and safety. There's a way to do both without sacrificing either.
Constitutional attorney John Whitehead is appalled at hearing reports of authorities grabbing guns and arresting people just for walking around outside.
That undermines everything the Founding Fathers gave us, which was our liberties. And what it means is you don't have absolute rights if the government can just take them away.
But the Heritage Foundation's Cully Stimson says governors are well within their constitutional rights if it involves going after people whose behavior could threaten the public's health.
And I think it's those people that the governors are rightfully targeting, and the police will rightfully warn, and then sternly warn, and then give a fine to, and if ultimately necessary, jail.
The Southern Baptist Convention's Russell Moore defends the authorities, writing, "Nowhere at this point have we seen churches targeted because of their beliefs or mission." In fact, he points out this is an area, the protection of public health, where the state has not just a legal authority, but an authority granted by God himself. Moore concludes, concern for public health is not a violation of religious liberty. Other states, though, are deciding not to use the force of law on churches, like Ohio.
Well, I didn't think it was proper, really, for government to infringe upon people's First Amendment rights.
Instead, Governor DeWine has only advised religious leaders.
Say, look, you're not doing your folks any favors by bringing them together.
Church members certainly aren't exempt from COVID-19. Early last month, an Arkansas church held a children's program, and afterwards, 3 visitors and 31 church members tested positive for the virus, the church's pastor among them. He later wrote the congregation, "The intensity of this virus has been underestimated by so many, and I continue to ask that each of you take it very seriously." As for Pastor Rodney Howard-Browne, he announced on Twitter,
all River members, if you can get the word out and just say no church on Sunday, Pastor said he is protecting his flock, not from the virus, but from tyrannical government.
Paul Strand, CBN News.